Überraschung gesorgt, als er plötzlich Raymond von Barneveld aus dem Turnier schmiss. Vielleicht gelingt ihm ja auch jetzt an dieser Stelle hier eine große Überraschung. Ruthless James Richardson. Ladies and Gentlemen, jetzt wartet die aktuelle Nummer 1 der Welt, der Titelverteidiger, der Weltmeister von 2014, 2017 und 2019, MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen!
Eighth and final game of the Sunday afternoon here at the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen, and the #1 in the world graces the stage, and he's looking to improve on what he did last night. He scraped through in his last match against Brendan Dolan and kept that wicked streak of 11th leg wins alive. James Richardson yesterday was absolutely sensational against Mervyn King with a 6-3 victory. His best performance ever on the European Tour. So Michael is on notice. But based on the lyrics of the James Richardson walk-on song, I have to ask you a question, Chris Murphy, because according to that, everybody likes Vindaloo. Do you?
I'm not as big a fan as perhaps James Richardson is, but this could be a spicy one because, as you mentioned, Richardson producing his best performance ever in terms of the average, 102 and change, 10 points more than Michael managed, as he, well, to put it bluntly, fell over the line against Brendan Dolan last night.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
Although he did give himself the opportunity to increase that tally of last leg deciders to a winning record of 26
82.
on the spin.
Quite impressive.
I mean, it could be 30 by the end of the day, but I'm sure Michael van Gerwen would want to be putting himself through all that kind of stuff again.
57.
If he won this tournament, winning this 6-5, then the quarterfinal against Peter Wright 6-5, and then 7-6, then 8-7. There may be some grey hairs appearing on that side of that very large head of his.
I'm not sure that's possible. The grey hairs bit, not the last leg deciders.
Well, the possibility of 180s in this match are definite because Richardson was banging them in yesterday.
100.
Yeah, that fantastic game against Mervyn King. We saw 12 maximums in that match. 6 of them came from Richardson.
125.
I've got a little story to tell about James Richardson, and I may as well tell it now, as he's probably already checked out of his hotel. I'll tell you what, we'll put it in the next leg. We haven't got time here.
Well,
the way things are going.
He needs this.
Hasn't got it. He has left a double.
Mike Lugois 20.
So Gerwen messed about on the outer ring early on last night, and he's chasing the doubles around the board again.
Yeah,
But this time he pins it third dart. That is a nice settler for MVG.
Yeah, James Richardson is noted for finding any way of getting a dartboard up in a hotel. He has used anything and everything to get a place to practice. He's like the Blue Peter of travelling dart players. And he had no choice this week, apparently, to screw the board into the hotel room wall
81.
and find materials potentially for when he checks out to cover up the holes in the wall. I tell you what, that is commitment, that, Chris.
Well, it is commitment, but there are several easier options on the market. It's not for me to advertise, but most professional dart players are well aware of them.
Nice old schoolers, James. Gone are the days where you'd go to the hotel and you'd have to go and find a venue. Well, this one started blisteringly.
MVG flexing his muscles with back-to-back maximums to leave himself 84 after 9. Richardson
84.
Stranded somewhere near Stuttgart.
60.
Not for the lack of throwing a good dart, that one. That just didn't collide in the right way. He will be back for a 13 darter potentially. Has he shown too much to James Richardson already? Double 6. Double 3 in there for a very pedestrian looking 15 darter. But has Peter Wright, and we know that Michael sometimes needs that little jolt of inspiration or motivation, but has Peter Wright, with that performance against Johnny Clayton, laid down a marker for MVG to really focus on?
Definitely, but Michael van Gerwen needs to focus on himself and his doubling more than anything, because that will be troubling the world number one. He's already missed 6 in this match, despite the fact that he's 2-0 ahead.
You might get chances plenty like that against Richardson when he's not on his full game like he was yesterday. But against someone like Cross, against someone like Wright, the way he played today, you aren't going to get away with that. And he has got big challenges ahead of him in the next couple of weeks. He has got to win his game, I feel, on Thursday night. And I think he really wants to win here again. Wants to keep that tally going of European Tour Championships.
Well, he missed 20 darts at double against Brendan Dolan yesterday, and to just nick the phrase that you've just used, Paul, he got away with it.
45. Mike Lugois,
Brendan Dolan broke him 4 times in that match.
I can't ever remember that happening. And 113, he's looking for those little... Oh, wow! What's that?
What a way to go. I mean, it wasn't intended from the start, but 3 treble 20 bull for Michael van Gerwen to make it 3-0, and he's had no trouble on the smallest double on the board there.
Make no mistake, he was going for bull, treble 13, double 12, or 13 bull. He does like the bull single bull shots.
Some of them make sense, actually.
That actually wasn't a bad way. I don't mind that one. It's when you have... Let me think of a really good one. How about 124? That would just be silly, because 25 is 99.
Yeah, I'm not sure that even Michael van Gerwen would risk that.
He has just been too good so far.
He's got a cushion here. They have met on the Euro Tour once before, this pair. That was back in 2012. It did go down to a last leg decider, but it wasn't Michael van Gerwen who won it. Has won the 4 subsequent meetings between the pair. 2 of them 6-5 as well, though. So Richardson has been close.
Wasn't close enough to the bullseye there. Van Gerwen's not going to take the 151. And James should get himself on the score sheet here. Double 8. And that's much better.
James Richardson. Leg is Michael to throw first.
Yeah, he's done well to keep calm and carry on here, James Richardson. Because Van Gerwen is up to his level.
134.
Despite those 6 darts missed on the outer ring, he's averaging well over the 100 mark.
45.
Everything in 5 visits so far.
93.
And if Peter Wright has laid down a marker of the standard, Van Gerwen is replying by saying, I'm going to be somewhere near it.
23.
Gone are the days when we used to say that world-class darts was a 90 average.
74.
But there's a lot I admire about that shot, because from 274, he gets a single 19.
58.
He then goes bull, gets a 25 and a 60, leaves 170. He knows his apples, he really does. What a conversion from 274 in 5 darts. Try that one at home, that's a hard one.
Well, many might try, but not many will complete it. As easily as Michael Van Gerwen has just made it seem, and Richardson
140.
trying somehow to weather this storm, but needed to at least match his performance level from yesterday, and he's
57.
15 or so points behind that at the moment.
Yeah, that's some level 12 stuff, that, from Van Gerwen, and the game's only got 10 levels.
41.
He's the mystery level that you have to find. You know, the little shiny star on the game that you have to flick to get the hidden levels.
96.
That's what MVG is.
Well, he did say yesterday that he shouldn't have put himself in that position against Brendan. In fact, he used the phrase, I should have just smashed him. I think
22.
he's partaking in some smashing on the stage here.
Well, it's interesting that he said that, because I remember when Peter Wright and Van Gerwen
38.
started their rivalry at the World Championships, Peter Wright was asked about Van Gerwen and he said, I'm going to smash him. So maybe that's just the phrase of the weekend.
Yeah, they did have a bit of needle in the early days of them both being in the Premier League.
85.
Peter Wright tried a few exhibition shots that Van Gerwen didn't like.
108.
Well, is he going to convert 310 in 6?
Probably.
90.
You think it's going to go?
130.
Why not? Everything else usually does.
Perfect.
Another.
Yep.
Double 5.
120.
But Richardson
Ginger,
has been left with slim
123.
pickings. Can he pick one off? The answer is no.
Just hasn't been able to get a foothold
61.
in the match like he did yesterday. The confidence has been sapped really early. Double 5 for his 5th leg of the match, and Van Gerwen is almost there in what seems like no time at all.
Game on.
That's very good, very consistent. Just putting in that one really explosive leg
45.
of 11 darts.
Well, today we've seen winning averages of 103 from Nathan Aspinall, 105 from Peter Wright, 106 from Jeffrey Desvaux. Michael Van Gerwen now is around 105, and Ian White top of the pile, 111. If they all carry on like they have been playing this afternoon, then we are in for some evening session here at the European Darts Grand Prix.
Too right.
57.
Never fails to deliver, the glass blast. I have to say, I probably had one of my best career moments on that stage when I played in the semi-finals and beat Michael Van Gerwen. I really, really did enjoy that game.
And there was me thinking you were going to say when I beat Russ Bray yesterday in the exhibition match.
I enjoyed that too. It was good fun.
133.
Now, 259, he's looking to stay on the 19s. So he gets 2 trebles in a single. He's looking for maybe 4 19s from here for bull to finish it off.
Well, he wants to finish in style, and that's not the way to do it.
40.
Richardson needs to pull off something stylish of his own, or it could be the curtain closer applied by Michael Van Gerwen for this afternoon.
Just hasn't happened for James today, and Michael has been cruising single 18 or double for double.
Game
And
shot.
he's there.
Man of the match,
He gets it done,
Michael
6-1.
Van Gerwen.
Walk in the park for Michael Van Gerwen after a battle yesterday against Brendan Doyle, and he eases past James Richardson 6-1 and is the last name into the quarter-final lineup. Ian White v Jeffrey Desvan, Steve Beechan against Darren Webster, Nathan Aspinall against Jamie Hughes, and Peter Wright against Michael Van Gerwen coming tonight. Stay tuned, a couple of hours' time for the conclusion of the European Darts Grand Prix.
Des Titelverteidigers, dieses 6:1 gegen James Richardson. Deutliche Leistungssteigerung im Vergleich zu gestern. Applaus für James Richardson. Ruthless. Für den es ein schöner Erfolg war. It was not ruthless with you. But you improved your game in compared to yesterday.
Yeah, compared to yesterday. James, your moment to know. Come on. No. Compared to yesterday, I think my game was a lot better. Of course, there's a lot more to improve because Peter Wright's playing well, but I took him out the last 2 times as well with a good performance, and I feel good. How do you say the German? His last bit of fame.
Sein letzter Glory, ja ganz genau. Peter Wright, he's a special opponent, isn't he? You played so big matches against a World Championship final and the Premier League final. You played a couple of finals here as well.
Yeah, so but now we're gonna meet. Early, and I feel good. I had a good performance here, but I need to make sure my concentration level is good, and then I can make them really difficult.
Cool. See you later. Thank you very much, Michael. Michael van Gerwen freut sich auf den Vergleich mit Peter Wright. Er glaubt, er kann das Niveau noch ein bisschen anheben. Und die beiden verstehen sich gut. James Richardson und Michael van Gerwen. Das wird also dann heute Abend das letzte Viertelfinale sein. Peter Wright gegen MVG. Vielleicht nochmal die Viertelfinals im Überblick. Wir haben Ian White gegen Jeffrey Desvan. Wir haben Darren Webster, der heute so ein gefeierter Star war, gegen Steve Beechan. Nathan Aspinall trifft auf Jamie Hughes und Michael van Gerwen dann auf Peter Wright. Das